Okay. Wow. It has been quite a long time since I made a YouTube video. A lot of things have happened. Hey Bubba, I got a cat. His name is Asher. He's kind of a demon, not gonna lie. He's cute though. Oh, okay. School, work, moving. A lot of things have happened. It's a new area, quieter area, no trains. Got some. I don't have much. I haven't really been able to go to the comic book shop like I wanted to, but I recently went there last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. Can't remember, but I picked up this Miles Morales Spider-Man 10-year anniversary trade. It's pretty dope. I mean, I already have his first appearance. I just haven't opened it in forever. But I'm rereading this. I'm rereading it. This is basically just the first 5 issues of his run, right? So like, and this is from like running from like his Ultimate Universe to current day. Well, not current day, but mainly this is Ultimate Universe stuff. But basically, it's just kid Miles. He's like maybe 12, 13 years old. And he, goes over to his uncle's house after, and the Ultimate Universe is the best way I could say is like the Ultimate Universe is like a bit of what you would see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like on the movies, stuff like that, is what you would see in the Ultimate Universe, but it's also based off of this other universe, Earth 9199999, where everyone ages in real time. So like Peter Parker ages, all that stuff. That's where you get like the life story Spider-Man. They did the Fantastic Four Spider-Man, or Fantastic Four, all of them, life story. So like that's where all that stuff is. But this is just, like I said, it's just all Miles trades. It wasn't even. It's basically a trade for $8. Typically a trade is like 12 to $20. So this is like a cheap trade if you just like, if you like the character and you want to like, you always wanted to read. Yes? He's looking at me like he wants something. I don't know what he wants. But yeah, it's like a nice cheap trade. If you ever wanted to get one, if you ever wanted to learn about like the character and like wanted to get more, like basically if you like the movie and you like the games, right? The Miles Morales game that came out maybe a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago, then you're gonna like this. It's less, so whatever Into Spider-Verse was, it's a little bit of that, but not as much. There's no multiverse yet. Like they don't even know. Like this is like before Secret Wars, which is when Miles officially went into the main Marvel universe. So this is like way before that. So like in this universe, man, I don't know if I want to tell you about it. It's like, okay, in this universe, Peter Parker dies, going up against the Green Goblin, who is like this, more or less this like, he looks like a whole like Green Goblin, like whoever you would. But like less glider, more like beefy, musclier Green Goblin. And Peter Parker dies to him, but Miles gets his powers right before Peter Parker dies. And so now he's like, like the first like few issues, it's like he thinks that he's like a mutant or something like that, but he's not. He's just got spider powers like Spider-Man. But like I said, Spider-Man's not dead yet, so man, this was a good book too. Yeah, Spider-Man's not dead yet, so it's really just like you're getting to know the character. A lot of stuff is happening. You see him wearing Spidey's suit for a bit, and people are like, "Who are you?" and "Why are you wearing this suit?" And then like this iconic, like this was like this right here. This hold on, let me show you. This right here, this scene right here is like the most iconic one because it was like, oh man, Miles became Spider-Man, right? I mean, like if you read the book, you kind of assume so because he has spider powers, and then he's confronted by this universe's Spider-Woman, and she's like, "You got some nerve wearing that suit." So she's a clone of Peter Parker. So like, you take off that mask, she looks just like Peter Parker, but Peter Parker had, like I said, at this point in time when Miles met Peter, they had all, he had died and all that stuff. It's a good book. I recommend you go pick it up. Like I said, it's $8. If you can find it, get it. If you can't find it, Amazon. Amazon's always the best alternative if you can't find a book. Another book that I picked up. This was more like, I'm a Black Panther fan. I'm a diehard Black Panther. Like these, Miles Morales and Black Panther are like my favorite characters of all time. And so I found this. This is a Black Panthers, the first appearance of the Collectors, who would end up being the inspiration for the Collector that we would see later on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But these guys were like more so like poacher collectors than like collectors of like, his stuff. Like he collects like all that fine like creatures and last civilization and stuff like that. It was drawn by Jack Kirby, who is the creator of all the comics, the comic book characters today, like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the X-Men, like all those characters. Even like going over to DC, he's actually the one that created Thanos, but then someone else came in and rewrote Thanos in a more compelling way. But he drew Thanos, but then also he went over to DC and he did Darkseid, the whole New Gods thing. The reason why he left was because Marvel didn't let him do what he wanted to do, so he left to go to DC and did that. But I got this for two reasons. One, because I've never owned a Jack Kirby art styled book, and I really wanted to, and it's like his drawing and everything. And okay, like I opened it, like don't shoot me, whatever. I opened it, of course, and I was just like amazed. One, I was amazed more so about like the ads. Like the ads are just amazing. Like X-ray goggles. What is Joy Buzzer? And like, I mean the art too. Like the art is just like, it's just amazing. I'm so scared. I don't even know why I opened it that hard, but I'm so scared to tear it. It's hard. Like whoever owned this previously tore the corners on the bottom of one of the pages. So I was kind of upset about it. But it was just like this artwork and the ads. I'm telling you, these ads, karate. How to write, sell, and publish your own songs. Joe Wider built you a better body just for $77.89. This bodybuilder, I guess. I don't know. They should, going on this time, they should have had Arnold. Arnold was like what, in the 60s, 70s? They should have done Arnold instead. He was way more marketable. Everyone wanted to be Arnold back then. But again, back to like the art and like the whole like, you see like the blam and rumble and wham. You don't see that kind of stuff anymore in comic books. It's just they just do it. You don't get all those sound effect things or whatever. Yeah, like I really just got this book because I'm a huge Black Panther fan, and I was just like gotta buy it. And then I was like, Jack Kirby drew it, full send. Like I hadn't even gotten a chance to actually read this book. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I thought it was so cool. And like I said, it's just like this book was made in the 60s. So like this is this is also a pretty memorable book too, in that this is the 4th issue of his first solo run. So like, it's, I mean, the value is not in that it's, you know, drawn by, I mean, like, the value, this is very personal. It's like, if you're getting this book, you're not like, oh, I'm gonna make thousands of dollars off of this. No, you're like, oh, I like Black Panther. I like Jack Kirby. I never owned, you know, any of his artwork. Here I am. I have a book, Black Panther book from the 60s, written by the original creator of the character. You know, or not written, but drawn by the character. The writer of this is who's the writer of this? Oh no, it was edited, written, and drawn by Jack Kirby. So he edited his own book. Wow, what a legend. Yeah. Yeah. And it says Stan Lee presents Black Panther, but it was written, drawn, and edited by Jack Kirby. So, because like then Marvel was so small, they didn't have like an editor, right? Everybody's editing their own books. And like, look, this is like, okay, let me actually see if I go. Oh man, I wish I would have brought a comparison book. But like, this is T'Challa right here. Like, this is T'Challa. He looks completely different than what he looks like now. He looks like completely different. But like, this art was just so cool. And then this was the other cool part too. Like, people back then would write in to like the writer of their book and would just tell them like how much they loved the book or what have you. So like right now, Dear Mr. Kirby. It didn't say who wrote it or whatever. But it does have like the address of the original place where Marvel was created, which was 575 Madison Avenue, New York City 10022. I guess that was the address or mail wherever you mail your stuff to. It says, Dear Mr. Kirby, Black Panther #1 was truly superb. Please keep on doing those magnificent 2-page spreads. The one-pagers too. They're really great. I'm thrilled to see you branching out into different comics. Now about the characters you introduced in issue #1. T'Challa, of course, is his grand old self, but you don't seem to have that exotic Xanda's personality down too well. Interesting. I mean, like I said, I never read the book. But you do make up for it for that by introducing the little cunning Mr. Little. His character development is great. I was sorry to see the guy die, and was relieved to see him revived in issue 2. Back then, everything was just, it was fast and loose. They didn't care. In issue #2, you reveal Hatch 22's origin. You say he's from the 6th era of man, when man is all brain, quote unquote. Now really, Jack, I know there's a lot of pressure on you from doing 2001, A Space Odyssey, and Eternals all in 1 month. What? No, he didn't write. Did he really write 2001, A Space Odyssey? Holy. And Eternals. Holy. Do you know did he really write 2001, A Space Odyssey? Like, that's a Stanley Kubrick, like, world-renowned film. That's crazy. This dude strides ahead of everyone. Oh my gosh. And I don't want to get into like the politics of like, did Stan give Jack credit, because that's like that's a running thing, that Stan didn't give Jack any credit. Jack was, I mean, it's widely known that Jack Kirby, Jack the King Kirby, that's what everybody in the business calls him. He did not get as much credit because Stan and Spider-Man were the face, but Jack was really the one that really moved everything forward. Like, he did all the artwork and stuff like that. And yeah, like as this year started going on, Jack left, and he was left penniless, and he died penniless. He didn't have much. Like Marvel owned all his characters, and he didn't get any money or anything for it. You know, the most he gets now is just credits and all the Marvel stuff that were characters he drew. So like Thanos, Iron Man, Captain America. Well, he didn't draw Captain America. Someone else did, but then they brought him back. Who else? Like I was saying, like Black Panther, like those type of characters, right? He gets credits in them now only because the estate of Jack Kirby sued Marvel and Disney for a whole bunch of money, because they didn't credit him in anything, and he made those characters, and they didn't get a dime for it. And that's kind of like the running thing with creators in that business too, is that, you know, like the creator of Bucky, the creator of Cap, all these characters, right? Thanos and all these characters were created by people, but then Marvel doesn't really give the creators the respect that they deserve, right? Who was it? The person that created so Endgame and Infinity War were based off of a comic book story called Infinity Gauntlet. That one was way more grandiose, you know, really, really big spectacle. Kind of not as big as, it was actually bigger than Endgame, not gonna lie. But I think his name is Joe Stalin or something like that. He got credit, right? And he was even put into the film. He was put into Endgame. He was, well, in that scene where it's Cap in that I guess you call it I won't call it an AA meeting, but that's the best way I can interpret it. Like a therapy session with other people that have lost people, right? And you see, I want to say it's Joe Russo, who was sitting there talking about him going to dinner with somebody, but then like it pans really quick to a bald guy with glasses, really scrawny guy, and that is the guy that created the Infinity Gauntlet, and so they gave him a scene in the movie. I'm not sure how much he got paid for it, but he got a scene in the movie. But like other creators don't, especially Jack Kirby. Like I said, Jack Kirby made Spider-Man, Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther. Like he made all these X-Men, Fantastic Four. He made all these characters. He created, like, Stan was the writer, but Jack Kirby was the artist that brought those words to life with the characters. And he didn't really get that much credit. And it's not Stan's fault. Not Stan's fault at all, because Stan, like he always said, he has never said in an interview, I did everything, it was all me, whatever, forget about Jack. No, he was never that guy. He was like, no, I was like, he was honest. He was like, I just wrote. That was all Jack, right? But everybody forgets because like, oh, Stan's being modest, all this stuff. But like the truth was that Stan was just the writer. And Jack was really the creator of all these characters. You know, it's just that unfortunately Jack didn't live long enough to even be cameoed in any of the films like Stan was, because he died early on because he didn't have all the money that Stan had, because Stan ended up being the face and the CEO of Marvel Comics for 30, 40 years, and then Jack he left and he never looked back. So, but that being said, great. I'm excited I got it. I'm gonna hold on to it forever. Pick it up. It's a great book. Like I said, it has all 5 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man's first run. It has it shown here on the back of it. Has the runs. Yeah, it's a good read. And then also, listen, for my little cousin out there, listen, don't make your mama broke trying to read all these books. All right, like I told your mama that I'm gonna try and send some books out there so that she could tide you over for a little bit, I got a lot. So, be prepared. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna see if I can get some help from my mom to have some of those books sent out to you. But and then when I move out there, listen, me and you, homie, me and you, comic books all day, all day. But with that being said, guys, I will see you all later. Peace. Why doesn't it let me?